In the first two videos of this series, we showed you the different rules to design a city. Then we presented the author's models for each city and how each city at its core is mainly a labor market. Today we will go more into details on the roles of markets in shaping the actual spatial structure of the city and what is the specific function of design and designers. Of course, before starting, it would be great if you can hit those like and subscribe buttons, and if you're interested in buying the book, you can find a link for it in the description. Markets as shapes creators. Markets are like a black box with a mechanism to constantly modify the urban shapes, just like evolution shapes living organisms. It shapes the cities through land prices. If a land is in high demand, its price goes up, which yields higher concentrations of floor spaces and higher buildings. Cheaper lands generate shorter buildings. Prices are also linked to the household income. High income and cheap land prices equals high-end suburbs. Very low incomes turn lands into slums regardless of the land price. What is the role of transportation? The price of the land at the center of the city is the highest. It is the location that can be reached with the shortest time and least cost. The cost of transport is equal to the time and money spent during the trip. In the 19th century, the cost of traveling was relatively high, which in return resulted in high density. High transportation cost limits the city's expansion and reduces the area that can be exploited. The invention of the subway allowed people to work at a longer distance from their homes. The invention of cars earlier last century opened up even more locations and dispersed the population even further, hence reducing the human concentration at the center of the city. So prices and transportation costs are the main shapers of the city, and this then begs the next question. What is the role of design? So far, we discussed how markets are efficient in altering the land supply, transforming land use, and setting the ratio of the floor built-up area in relation to the land price. Markets cannot function if there are no transactions taking place. Streets and public spaces are never subject to these kind of transactions. A top-down design approach is the only way to allocate the resources for this important infrastructure. Markets are black boxes made out of tiny transactions all over the world. Design is the complete opposite of the market processes. It is directed by a rational designer who wants to meet very specific goals and functions. When design replaced markets in shaping the city, we end up with cities that are rigid and repetitive, since a designer is bound to follow the norms. Some of these attempts are projects such as Le Corbusier's Radiant City or China's Danhui housing. On the other side of the coin, when markets are left alone, we get an efficient and dynamic outcome, such as the city of Podung. We would like to thank everyone that supported us during our first year, and we wish you all a blessed and creative 2020. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.